The FNX 45 Tactical by FN. So, before I talk, I'm just gonna shoot. The FNX 45 Tactical, to me, 6 years ago when I did the initial review on this gun, was ahead of its time. It was one of the first guns that come with a milled out slide where you can put a red dot on it. Now, every gun on the market damn near has a cutout in order to put a red dot on it. So that being said, it was also a gun that was incredibly feature rich in a way that a lot of guns weren't before. You know, of course you had the rail for your light, you had threaded barrel for a suppressor, you had suppressor height sights, of course the mill out for your red dots, you had the ambidextrous safety, ambidextrous slide block, ambidextrous magazine release, and on top of that, you had 45 rounds, you had 15 rounds of 45 ACP, where during that time, most 45s really honestly had a capacity of about 10. And then 1911s had like capacities of like 7 or 8. But with the it just really honestly lent itself to being an awesome civilian home defense handgun, if you want your handgun for home defense in 45. I've gone back and forth about making this my go-to home defense gun because I have this kind of biting love affair between this gun and the HK45 Tactical. But from a point-to-point standpoint, I would make the argument that this gun is probably better and cooler. I do think the HK45 Tactical might be sexier, but I think this, all in out, I think probably is a better gun. You just want to tack it out in the funnest way possible. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Mall Ninja. No, 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 no. This gun is fun. It's fun, it's capable, it has a lot of features. And I'm just like, you honestly cannot go wrong with this gun from a home defense standpoint if you want to run your home defense gun in 45. Another thing too about this gun, which is rather not unique, but different from most people as far as what they're used to nowadays, is this is a hammer fired gun. So it's a double action single. So what you have is you have a long, and then you have a reset, and goes into single action, and then with your reset. This trigger is really smooth, incredibly smooth actually. It's one of the few guns that I actually like shooting in double action. Most of the time in double action, I hate shooting. But like if you watch the back of the hammer, watch how smooth that thing just goes back. That's how smooth the double action trigger is. And then of course in single action, you get that quick pull. So this gun is big, but I think it's big in a good way. It's very substantial. And I think bigger guns kind of lend themselves to being, people lend themselves to being more confident when they're shooting. When you're shooting a smaller gun, you just mentally, you don't necessarily feel like you have something as adequate. And I think that when it comes to shooting, self-defense, I think that confidence is a really good thing, honestly. Now, granted, we're kind of forced to carry smaller guns because we got to hide them on our bodies. But when you don't have that, you don't have to worry about that, you don't have to worry about size, and just basically have a gun as big as you want it to be. I mean, I think this kind of, honestly, is the perfect big size for a firearm, especially one chambered in 45. Another thing about this gun is it handles the 45 round incredibly well. Because of the size, because of the heft, you don't have a gun that feels like it's beating you to death. The recoil on this gun is not soft because it's a 45. I'm hard pressed to think of any gun just chambered in 45 that's soft shooting. But compared to other guns that are chambered in 45, this gun is a really light recoiler compared to those. The only anomaly I would probably say is, no, actually this gun. This is, to me, one of the better guns that handles the 45. You can't really go wrong. You have a feature-rich gun that's almost the perfect size as far as being a full-size gun. You have the ability to suppress this gun, you have the ability to run a red dot, you have the ability to put a light on it, then you have 15 rounds. Like I said, most guns chambered in 45 don't have that type of capacity. So when you have 15 rounds, this type of platform, man, you can't go wrong with respect to it being a good, not only self-defense gun, if you have the ability to carry this. You can carry this, my hat's off to you. I couldn't, too big. But from a home defense standpoint, I see this gun, I think, perfect home defense gun. That's what mine. I might even do a video about that. Even though technically speaking, this is not my go-to home defense gun, but it's for dumb reasons. And it's not because the gun isn't a better gun for home defense. I just have very stupid, fleeting reasons for why I have the gun that I have. And I've said it in that video, and I'll probably tag it here and here. But that being said, I think this is a really, really, really good gun for home defense for somebody who wants a gun chambered in 45. Other than that, man, I think you just, even now, it's right on par. Where all the guns are now, this gun has been there for years in terms of features and abilities. So there it is, FNX 45 Tactical.
You know how frightening it is to think about what happens in the moments before, during, and even days after having to use your gun in self-defense? When you first start carrying a gun for protection, it can be a very scary and nerve-wracking experience, especially if you haven't gotten the education and training you need to feel confident. I've been there myself, hoping I never have to go through a self-defense shooting, which is why I'm a member of the USCCA. As a USCCA member, you can eliminate some of the stress of carrying a gun for protection by accessing the amazing wealth of firearm education, training, and current state-specific gun laws of your state or states you may travel to. This can help you be prepared for, or hopefully even avoid, a self-defense incident. As a bonus, members automatically become insured on the self-defense liability insurance policy purchased by and issued to the USCCA. Click below to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, make sure you hit that bell symbol.